Great day. Great day, people. Great evening. 11:11. Almost like got sidetracked over here watching this movie called Player One. Forgot who it was that was telling me about it, but it has to do with like the Oculus and the metaverse and all that stuff that's going on, that we're seeing the advent and beginning of today. Damn, it's crazy. I paused it at 32:14, 3, 2, 1. But yeah, it's a great day, family. We're alive. We're alive. It's been a great day. Can't complain. I recently ordered some literature on Marcus Garvey, and I actually got the books today. One of it was a short 25-page pamphlet or something like that. I finished it, and then I went on to read a few chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. So that's been the reading for today. Marcus Garvey and the Bhagavad Gita. And yeah, man, it's a great day. Was trying to get some training today done, but since we was out of water in the apartment, we made a choice to go and get our water filled up. You know what I'm saying? I drink about 5 gallons per week, so I go through a 5-gallon jug in about a week. So we had to refill. So we did that, and got our 500 done. Today we did 50 dips, 50 push-ups, 50 pull-ups, 50 hip thrusts, 100 calf raisers, and about 300 worth of abs. We wanted to get some legs done today, but we couldn't get to the gym in time, so we'll leave it for tomorrow. We'll do legs and shoulders tomorrow at the gym with weights. But yeah, it's a great day, Can't complain. We're alive. We're healthy. We got heat in the apartment. We got a roof over our head. We got food in the refrigerator. We got some Indian food for tonight. So that's what we ate this evening, with some Indian. Stopped by my sister's house, saw my niece and my nephew. You know what I'm saying? And here we are. You get me? Still have my sister. I'm waiting on her to check out my personal statement for so that I can send it to Rutgers for my master's in psychology. So I want to have her check it out before I even send it out, because I had already written one about a month or two ago, and she was like, "Boy, you better go rewrite this." Like, she embarrassed the shit out of me. She already has a master's, she's already a teacher and so on. I almost caught up to her, but she started her master's way before me, so she beat me on that. But yeah, I had her read it for me since she's a teacher, and she's more like collegiate orientated. I really do it just for the financial reasons, and for the clout that comes as it relates to collegiate educated individuals that only view your opinion as having some sort of substance if they know that you have some college education. And there are a lot of people in this life, in this paradigm that we live today, that they will not acknowledge your opinion as something that is factual or truthful or that has basis, unless they know that you are college educated. That is how stupid a lot of people are in this reality that we live today. That they don't consider you smart, intelligent, or capable of having some value to offer. And unless you have a college education, and that's really jacked up. Like, and this is nothing against that community, but I've talked to Asian people, and they look at me like dirt. And then once I bring up the fact that I have a college degree, they're like, "Oh, you got a college degree? Oh yeah." And I'm like, "Really? You just looked at me like I wasn't shit. You didn't even acknowledge my presence." But as soon as I bring up, that I went to such and such college and you know the name, and all of a sudden what I have to say has value and importance, and that's just one group of people. You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of other people in the Spanish community, and in the black, brown, and yellow community as a whole. Our society has been so dumbed down and brainwashed that they think that a college degree determines your level of intelligence. And that is not true. College educated are probably some of the dumbest group of people in the world. And I mean dumb as in not being able to critically think. Not being able to truly use deductive reasoning to come up with logical truth and understandable information that they have, critically thought up by themselves, and that is not something that is just being regurgitated from what they've been taught by either the educational system, i.e. the disinformative, indoctrinational system that we call schooling in America, or the television that just completely fills their vision with destructive programming, biased, stereotypical, racist, derogatory, destructive, divisive, fear-filled programming that misinforms, and ill-informs the general masses to not be able to think for themselves and to just be completely and always stuck on this fear-filled train of thought that doesn't allow them to actually grow. And so yeah, I have my sister checking out my personal statement so that I can start a master's in psychology at Rutgers. And from there, with the Most High before us, we'll be studying behavioral neuroscience for our PhD, aka our doctorate, at the same college. If not by then, I haven't gotten a hold of some property in Florida. If I have gotten a hold of some property in Florida, which I probably should have by then, we'll probably just go to Miami, University of Miami. Be chilling on the beach, what I'm saying, with a bunch of young honeys. Legal young honeys. You hear what I'm saying? In the nice warm weathers of Miami, Florida. But other than that, like I said, man, it's a great day. The goals are there. They're set. We're not allowing anybody else to come into our life and to dictate the terms of our mission for ourselves, and you should never allow that. Thankfully, I'm thankful that positive voice in the back of my mind that is always encouraging. All of us have it. You get what I'm saying? It's just that a lot of us lack the self-confidence in ourselves to listen to that voice more so than we listen to the cries of the world. So I am thankful that I have always listened to that voice more so than I have listened to the external voices telling me, stop, you're doing too much, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to disappoint yourself, what are people going to think about you, you're going to look stupid, you're going to look crazy, you sound like you're going crazy, you might die, like why would you do that, why would you go and you know what I'm saying? I'm thankful that I've always listened to that voice that always said, bro, just do it. If you don't do it, who's gonna do it? Why wait for somebody else to do it when you can do it right now? Okay, you might get an ass whooping, you might get shot, you might get blown up, this and that may happen. But if you stay out here, this can also happen. If you don't do it, this other thing can also happen. So I'd rather listen to that positive voice in the back of my mind that is always encouraging me to be myself, to be my true self, to be authentic, to not take things personal, to not, envy other people's success, to not compare myself to other people. That is one thing that we should never do. Never compare yourself to other people, because, you may think that they're doing better than you, but you never know. You don't know if those individuals are doing better than you. You don't know what kind of demands those individuals are dealing with in life, and they don't know what you have to deal with in life. So never compare yourself to other people. And the what I wanted to touch on today was self-confidence. A lot of us in our society, we lack self-confidence because we lack the ability to keep promises that we make to ourselves. We say that we're going to do something, but then we fall short. We allow other people's opinion. We allow our own doubts to get the best of ourselves. Like, if you say you're going to start making the bed, don't just make up excuses as to why not to make the bed that morning. Make the freaking bed. Even if you go back to sleep an hour or two later, make the freaking bed. You get what I'm saying? If you're going to brush your teeth at night, don't make this excuse that, oh, I'm going to go to sleep. What's the point? Nah, bro. You don't want to wake up with your breath tasting like ass. So you're going to brush it. You're going to make it a goal to, do some hygienic work in the evening before you go to bed, so that in the long term, 10, 15 years from now, you have even less dental hygienic problems to deal with. You get what I'm saying? As you get older, so you're going to take care of yourself right now, 10, 15 years earlier. If you're going to eat healthy foods and you mess up, don't just decide to continue to mess up just because you messed up once. No, keep the promises that you make to yourself. The more promises that you keep to yourself, the more self-confident you'll become in yourself to be able to accomplish even bigger goals and visions that you have for yourself that are 5, 10, or even 20 years in the future. But start making those commitments to yourself right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's little. If you're going to work out as soon as you wake up, work out as soon as you wake up. Or get it done that day. Don't leave that day not having done whatever it is that you have committed to yourself to do. I said it in a few videos ago. I think I've given myself about 7 things to do per day. Little things that I want to establish as habits that will last until I'm gone, or until I can't do them to the level that I'm doing them now. Right? And one of them is 500 reps per day. 500 reps. And I mix them up, between chest, back, abs, legs, biceps. So I hit every muscle group, because if you don't use it, you do lose it. If you don't use your muscles, you will lose them, and you will become brittle and weak as you get older. And as a man, that is unacceptable. It is unacceptable to grow into old age useless. You should be useful till the day that you pass on. That you decide that this body has reached its limit of utility for this consciousness that I have developed in this lifetime that I've been given, and it's now time to transcend this body and migrate either into the great beyond for a few eons or a few centuries, or to travel into another body so that this consciousness that I have developed in this time that has been given to me in my lifetime can continue its creative process in another, in another individual. My grandfather lived to the age of about 65. He died of throat cancer. And he passed on about 2 weeks after he was unable to work because of throat cancer. The dude kept smoking, had a baseball-sized knot on the side of his neck. Last time I saw him was like in 2009 before I went to 2010 before I went to Afghanistan for my first deployment. I was 20. His brother lived till 79. I saw him for the first time in 2018. So he lived 8 to 9 years more than my grandfather, and his brother was older than him. And this mofo told me, yo, the only reason your grandfather beat me to the grave was because he had more discipline with money. So my uncle, my grandfather's brother, lived longer because he was undisciplined with money. Therefore, he couldn't sustain his smoking habits and whatever other habits because he didn't. But when I saw him at 79, this dude was like, you know, brittle. He looked brittle as heck, you know. Like if a wind came and it blew a little too hard, it would just smack him on his back. and this dude is still going up a mountain on a horse and fixing up fences so that cows don't get into his properties on the mountainsides where he had coffee and he had his own little gardens and stuff. But this dude was 79 still working. And I had the opportunity to chill with him up in the mountains. You know, I made it a goal that I wanted to go to the Dominican Republic. I wanted to climb up to the mountain where my grandfather, I would chill when I was, you know, 9, 10 years old, 6, 7. And I wanted to hike up that mountain on foot, go up on foot and come down on foot. And I wanted to collect magic mushrooms that naturally, organically grew around that area. And I wanted to have a psychedelic spiritual experience on that mountain. You get what I'm saying? And I told all of this to my uncle. And I also let him know, I was like, yo, listen, you are consciousness having a human experience. As soon as you feel that you no longer need your body because your body has run its full course in this life, you will leave, Unc. You'll leave. Don't worry. And he just looked at me like, and we had deep conversation. And he was just like, yo, you sound older than you are. Like, he's 79. I'm over here 28 talking to him about life and death. And he actually had his first blunt with me because I was still smoking when I went over there. So I was able to convince him to smoke, and he had never smoked. And, you know, I like going back to the point, keeping promises to yourself. I made thanks, brother. Hey, good to see you in here too, Roboy. My bad. I ain't even acknowledge your presence there, man. I appreciate you coming through, man, and sticking around. But, you know, I made it a goal that when I first had a psychedelic experience and it brought me back to my childhood and it let me know that my grandfather, even though he had passed, he was still living on with me, through me. And that the things that he didn't accomplish in life because of whatever circumstances, because of whatever decisions created the circumstances that became his life, he would now be living through, you know, through me. The visions that he didn't fulfill, I would fulfill those visions as me. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I want to travel to those mountains and I want to have an experience in those mountains. I don't care if I have to go up there by myself. And, you know, people are very superstitious, especially Hispanic people. Superstitious as heck, believing in witches and ghosts and all this. And these are things that I grew up with, you know. So I was very fearful of the dark until I started having psychedelic experiences. And all fears left my body, mind, and soul. You know, that's why I fight. I don't fight because I like to fight. I grew up hating fighting. I grew up being scared of fight, you know. I grew up like seeing people that looked intimidating and I would instantly just, you know, feel very intimidated. And it has taken me up until now, man, to the age of 28, 29, 30 to really like grab that coward that lived within me and choke the life out of that son of a, you know what I'm saying? Like just choke the life out of it so that anywhere I go, I exude nothing but confidence and courage and a warrior spirit, because I hated feeling like a coward, and I would never voice. I never had the courage to voice that truth about what I would feel growing up, right? So I took that mission. I did it. My uncle actually ended up passing on, transcending, about 2 weeks after I left Dominican Republic. And when I found out he transcended and where he transcended, I just smiled. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, my boy went out like a G. That motherfucker went out in the mountains by himself. But yeah, man, like, you know, like, and he was 79. I think he was about to turn 80 if he didn't turn 80. But like I said, man, like, you know, the habits that we entertain will cause these bodies to either look good for a long time or to age quicker than expected. And it all depends on the amount of promises that we keep to ourselves and on how we live our life. Because, you know, the amount of times that you fail yourself will also determine the level of confidence that you display. If you are unable to keep promises to yourself, you will never be able to keep any promises to anybody. You will never be able to commit to anybody. If you're unable to commit to yourself, you will never be able to commit to anybody. Not even to not to any woman and not to any children. You know, the core values of the Marine Corps is honor, courage, and commitment. And you know, those three core values, I've made them those have remained my core values since I left the military. You know, a warrior, a man, you know, a father, he must have honor. He must have integrity. You know, you can't just flip-flop on things. Like you have to have morals and ethics that you are bound by as a man. And yo, listen, there are many excuses in this life for us, not just for women, but for us men. There are many excuses, and we are seeing them today. That's why we have so very few men. We have an overabundance of male, but we have very few conscious, real, complete men, man. We have very few masters. We have very few teachers. We have very few fathers. And we have no kings. We have no kings. There's a freaking queen with no king. How is that even possible? You get what I'm saying? So this is the time that we're living in today, and it's because a lot of us males, we don't have any core values. We don't have any morals or any ethical principles that are the foundations of our being, you know. And for me, it's honor, courage, and commitment. God, family, and business, vision. You know, our business is our purpose, is our vision, is what we're here to fulfill. So, you know, you have to have honor. You have to have a level of integrity that no matter what, you will not violate it. You will not violate it for comfort. You will not violate it for lust. You will not violate it for greed. You will not violate it out of envy. You will not violate it out of a sense of dishonor, thinking that you can get away with something just because nobody is holding you accountable. You must hold yourself accountable as a man. Only like that will you develop the self-confidence necessary to actually believe faithfully that what you want to create for yourself and the impact that you want to have on life is actually possible. You have to balance you have to eliminate wrath and fill that with vision, with purpose. You know what I'm saying? With actual dreams. Don't be scared to imagine. As I've said before, everything that we see today is a product of someone's imagination. Everything, every human comfort that we see in every society around the world is a byproduct of someone's imagination. and humble yourself. Doesn't mean to not have pride in your work. Just have a humble pride in your work. Don't have an arrogant and egotistical, stupid pride. You know what I'm saying? That actually makes you look like an arrogant fool. So everything is gonna require a level of commitment. You know what I'm saying? And you have to have courage. You have to have confidence. And the only way to develop that self-confidence, that courage, is to actually go out and do those things that make you uncomfortable. You're absolutely right, brother, man. It is our time to make a change. There is a lot of wrong and a lot of toxicity because of the lack of masculinity in a lot of us men. Because of the lack of understanding, like, you know, what it is to be masculine, there's a lot of toxicity. Not a lot of men are masculine, and that's what causes the toxicity. The worst thing that a man can be is feminine. The more feminine a man is, without the masculine to balance it out, the more toxic he will be to himself, and the more toxic he will be to his environment and to women. Because he will behave like a bitch. He will behave like a bitch. That's the worst that a man. He will complain. He will lie. He will deceive. He will manipulate. He will be narcissistic and destructive. A man must learn to respect the feminine by putting the feminine in him in its place. And he must embrace and embody the masculine, because he is the physical manifestation of the masculine, i.e. the positive aspect of nature made flesh. Now that negative, that feminine, that aspect, it has its role, but its role needs to be meticulously controlled and directed. You get what I'm saying? When a man decides to use the feminine aspect, the feminine is creative. The feminine is pure imagination. You know, without the feminine, you can't really create many things, because that is what produces the creativity in man. But when we don't use it properly, when we're not being creative, we're being destructive. When we're not using our imagination, we're being manipulative. So it has his vices and his virtues. Just like the masculine. You know, it can. Hey, listen. Confidence. Develop your confidence by making yourself do things that are difficult for you to do as a man, and remain committed to those things. Remain committed long enough to where you can say to yourself, nah, it's not that hard. It's actually very simple. If you don't know how to fight, you need to learn how to defend yourself. You need to go get in a ring. You need to learn how to defend yourself. That is key. If you don't know how to cook, you better go learn how to cook. If you don't know how to take care of yourself as a man, you need to learn how to take care of yourself as a man. That is the only ways that you're going to develop self-confidence. You have to be able to rely on yourself. You have to be your primary, the primary concern in your life is you. Not any female, not what's going on in the world, you. The only way that you can solve what's going on, or can stand a chance to have the potential to bring some sort of solutions to the problems that we see going on in the world, is by first working on yourself. That is the only way. By elevating our consciousness can man be capable of, using the powers that are available to all of us to expand not just our own consciousness, but the consciousness of our environment, and by doing so, impacting the positive progression of society as a whole. Too many individuals have the knowledge, they might have the insight, they have the wisdom, but they lack the courage and confidence to actually go put that into motion. They believe in these pessimistic, spiritual practices that say to do nothing is to do something. And sometimes doing something is actually doing something. Not just meditating in a freaking mountain, or just completely giving your life to aesthetics and never doing anything but the aesthetic practices that you decide to practice. Like, nah, man, Buddha had to realize, like, oh, snap, coming back to life and being part of life is actually the only way to live life. Like, if I try to get rid of all pleasures and everything else, I'm not really doing anything for myself, for everybody else. I'm just doing something for myself. Absolutely. The level of self-confidence that one has, it will exude. It will be reflected on our aura. Women, children, animals, they are not going to be able to resist our energy. They're going to look. They're going to stare. They're going to wander. They're going to want to be in your presence. They're going to want to ask you questions. They're going to want to serve you. The more powerful your aura is, the more powerful you become at being able to influence your environment. The more capable you become of being able to create in life all sorts of things. Not just writings or poetry or art, but all other things that you want to create, or that you want to help others create. You're able to influence others. And you might not see their changes like that. They might not even notice that they're changing, but you will realize their changes. I see it all the time. In my family, in my friends. And I don't take that credit. I'm like, yo, that's what's up, bro. Like, I smile. I'm like, ooh, my boy doing his thing. Like, that's what's up, yo. You get what I'm saying? And then I go right back to doing my thing. Don't take no one's power away. Don't ever try to take, anyone's power, anyone's work away. Because we're all doing our own work. Let them come to you and tell you, yo, fam, I appreciate what you've been doing, man. Like, you have no idea how much it's helped me, man. Like, one day, I'm riding my bike last year. I wanted to get into this routine because I had been unable to run since about 2018, 2019 out of knee problems and stuff. And I'm riding my bike, doing like an hour run one morning. And as I'm heading back for the last 15, 20 minutes, I'm heading back to my place. I run across one of my boys. He's like one of my ex's cousins. We vibe. He follows me on Facebook and IG. I've seen him a few times. Like, when you see who's watch your feeds, I would sometimes see his face, and I'm like, oh shit, my boy. And he was about 340, 320, 330, 340 pounds. And I see him one day, and I'm like, oh shit, my boy, yo, snap. He's like, yo, shit, what's up, Sosa? And I was like, yo, what's good, bro? How you doing? I was like, good, bro. About to go to the gym and shit. I'm like, yo, you look like you lost about 70 pounds, bro. I just said it just like that. I was like, damn, bro, you look like you lost about 70 pounds. You looking good, bro. That's what's up, my nigga. Good to see you, bro. You got on your shit. He's like, yo, actually, I've lost exactly 70 pounds. And and then he gave me the props. He was like, yo, bro, but I appreciate what you're doing. Like, I watch your stuff every day, man. That shit keeps me motivated. Like, I appreciate it, man. Like, I like, you know, and he just, like, you know, he just started, like pouring his heart out and just, like, you know, giving me props. And I was like, nah, bro, it's all you, man. Like, I appreciate you, you know, giving me the support, the good feedback. But it's all your work, man. You're the one that you took it and you actually did something with it. So you keep fucking winning, champ. You keep doing your thing. And as I rode off, I just, like, you know, I just felt this immense gratitude within me, like, and I just started thanking God, you know, the universe, you know, consciousness, and I almost felt like, you know, my eyes almost got teared, like, you know, watery, because I was like, yo, that's, you know, because sometimes you'll go through life thinking that, you know, sometimes you may have the thought, like, is what I'm doing making a difference? And then you'll see someone in the midst of not even thinking if what you're doing is making a difference. You're just like, yo, I don't care. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And that's the mindset that I was on that day. I was like, I don't know if what I'm doing is making a difference, but I'm gonna ride the fuck out this bike. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put in this hour of ride this morning, and I'm gonna go do my workout, and I'm gonna go train, and I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna read my books, and I'm gonna post my content, and I'm gonna just continue to do what I'm doing for as long as I need to do it, you know, until the finances are where I need to be, so that I can make the investments that I have to make. And then boom, you get that one, you know, that one individual, that one sign that is like, yeah, bro, you good. Don't worry. You good. Like, you on the right path. Don't worry about it. It's going to take time, man. The Chinese bamboo tree takes 5 years to grow. 5 years of watering a tree, and it doesn't grow. And within, I think, like 60 or 90 days, it grows over 30 feet or more, or 100 feet. I don't even know how much it grows, but it grows in under 30 or 60 days. It grows over 100 feet or something like that. This is a tree, you know, an avocado or mango tree. It takes 3 to 5 years to bear fruit. Other trees even longer. And the same is with us, man. It's just like, we gotta water, we gotta nurture our seed. And that seed being our visions, our goals, our passions for life, you know, our businesses, our ventures, our innovations, whatever it is that we have to bring to life, we have to nurture those. We have to nurture the seed, and that seed being ourselves. And we got to grow to such an extent that, you know, it might take 15 or 20 years, man. But that 15 or 20 years of work, you know, can reap such an abundance that it would make it well worth it. That's all it is, man. It's just, you know, you see the work, whatever applies to you, apply it. If it doesn't apply, okay. Maybe you'll see somebody else that it does apply to, and you're like, yo, fam, I seen this individual. You should go check him out. Like, I could watch, yo, I fucks with David Goggin, you know, Ed Milet, Andy Frizilla, you know, the real Brad Lee on you. You could find all these individuals on YouTube. Grant Cardone, I don't know. I have to listen to him a little more. But, you know, these are individuals that I vibe with. Jim Rohn is my number one guy. I listen to that dude every day. The greatest investment you can make. He was like, the greatest, one of the best things about life is that you can actually invest life into life. Another thing that he said that really, like, you know, is one of the, he was like, you know, there are hundreds, and I like to say even thousands and millions, because I was one of those, of young men that are willing to die for the truth, or what they think is the truth, but very few that would spend 5 years studying to know what the truth is. Ask yourself that question, family. You might be willing to die for what you think is the truth, But how long are you willing to spend studying to know what that truth is? How long are you willing to invest in studying to figure out your purpose? Yo, this is probably video like 530 of the amount of videos that I've made since I started this channel. Since I started uploading videos onto YouTube. And I probably have to make a few hundred more in order to, become an even better communicator. To become an even better, forget better, in order to become more excellent. To become an even more excellent servant of the Most High. So that I am able to bring forth, the message of compassionate truth that can be, readily understood and received and accepted by the greatest number of people worldwide, so that it can produce the change, understanding, wisdom, faith, and love that is necessary, so that the greatest number of people around the world can make the most impactful form of change in their life, so that we can all collectively impact life in such a way that we can actually, produce some long-lasting solutions that our children can just take and run with it. That's my mission. To become an excellent communicator, an excellent mediator of compassion and truth, of wisdom and love, even if that means smacking a few people or knocking them out. Whatever it is, I'm a warrior. I ain't no diplomat. I ain't here for diplomacy. I'm here to hit you with the truth, man. Might try to be a little compassionate with it, but hey, it will only, the truth will set you free. That's what they say. That's the saying. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. And the truth is, my brothers, is that there's no one more important than you. The only one that you should uphold higher than you is the Most High, all that lives within you. That's why we should never idle objects or anything. These things, nothing. Like, we shouldn't idle nothing. Images. I have a tattoo of a rosary on me in my ignorance. Uphold the Most High. Thank it for the wisdom that it daily provides, so that you may continue to make the best possible choices on your journey, that you may always endure, that you may always be filled with serenity to accept the things that you cannot change. Give gratitude, that you may always have the courage to change the things that you can, and give gratitude for always having the wisdom to know the difference between those things that you cannot change and those things that you can change, so that you may always make the very best of choices at every moment of time and in every point and place that you may find yourself. It is said that our gifts will bring us before great men. That's Proverbs. Our gifts will make room for us. They will make room, and they will bring us before great people. Not before unknown people, before great people. The unknown will recognize it until you're already up there. And they're like, oh, that's so-and-so? Damn, I ain't. So other than that, ain't nothing but love. Yo, Robbie White, good looks, bro. We're going to call it. All right? It's been real. I hope you that listen to this are able to get what is necessary out of it, and that you may apply it to your life to the best of your ability, that you don't take nothing personal, that you do your best, that you make no assumptions, and that you all are always impeccable with your word, always using it to the best of your ability. Because as we think, so we are, and the words we speak are what become of the flesh, are what become flesh. So speak wisely and do your best every chance you get. Have a great evening and an even greater rest of this year and an even greater decade and next generation. Yeah, have a great one. Ain't nothing but love. One.